don't know. I'd have to look at it. I gave it a simple title. Hello, everybody. It is November 18th, 2024. I am joined by KerMixAlot. We are going to go over the new PAR alert bot that we have, the settings for it, rather, as well as some swing setups to go with the PAR and how those two work together. Let's see here. We are also going to go over entry and exit signals using the PAR and pivots tonight. So, yeah, I'm joined by KerMixAlot. Why don't you go ahead and say hey?
Hey guys, how are ya?
Do you want to share your screen, bud?
Yeah, let's get that up.
Yeah. Oh, let's go up to the theater and start it, actually. Oh, it's in here. All right.
Are you pulling us all in there?
Yeah. I forgot Mondays we do it over here.
Okay.
So
all right.
go
Excellent.
ahead and throw it on your screen. If anybody's mic is on, they can go ahead and mute themselves until after we're done with the presentation, and then we'll open up the forum.
Okay. All right. Welcome,
And
guys.
pop the screen up.
I wanted to first explain the
Hold up.
alerts.
Let me. Why don't we start from the top? Like I said, do a full little rundown here so the new people can.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, wanted to show you guys on a little bit more of the macro view on BTC, and November 4th was where the really nice entry I had gotten in, put it up in the group. You got the par gap on this, and the par gap is, from all my back testing, it's been about a 90% win rate. Now it's either going to give you a scalp or a swing, and I would say 70% of the time you're going to get a pretty good swing out of it, and then the other 20% of the time that it's a win, it's just a small win with a scalp. So what I'm showing here is this is the par ribbon, and if you look to the settings here, which it's in the par channel, it's already set up in there. You can just go and copy the way it is, and you can put whatever colors you want. I just put typical rainbow colors, and the time frames are 60, 120, 240, 360, 480, 720, 840. So basically just 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 14 hours. So what you're looking at here is while the ribbon is coming down, you want to trade in that direction on the lower time frame, and I'll get into that in a little bit. I'll just kind of intro it to you right now. This is on the lower time frame. Let me pull up the settings. It's a little hard to see here. So this is my scalp. I'll call it the LTF, or the scalp par ribbon, or scalp par. This setup is also in the par channel, and this is the ribbon with 3, 6, 12, 15, 24, 30, and 36. Okay, but I'm going to go back to the higher time frame. Okay, so what I'm looking for is when all the lines come to one side of the chart together, which you have here, which led to a wonderful short. And then you have here, now here they're not all together. You got the 1 and 2 going way up and coming back down. So you want to wait till they're all together and you have a big gap in the chart, and I'll kind of point that out to you guys. All right, so here is a gap, right? And what you have here is another gap, and that created a bull div on the entire ribbon. Okay, because you had price coming down. Let me go to the grab the trend line here. All right, so you had price coming down while the ribbon, right, the center of, you want to look at the center of the ribbon, mainly the 1 and 2 hour, because that's going to be your leader, right? Those are the lowest time frames. So the center of the 1 and 2 is right around here, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And then the center of the 1 and 2 is right about here. It's a slight move up while price came down, and then you had a reversal 3 inside up on the 1 hour, and that was your buy signal right there. And I got the lines here. Now these lines are based, when it's setting up like this, I'm going to come down to the 5 minute, right? So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to show you guys how to take continuation trades in case you missed that. So what time that was? That was at 5 o'clock my time in New York. But if you were in Australia, you could have been, in a dead sleep at the time. So I'll show you how to take continuation trades. So let me go down to the 5 minute and give me some time. I have to run this back a little bit. And just so, if you guys have any questions, you can put up in the chat, whatever you want. So November 4th, price is going to come down to the 60s, I think. Oh, there's the price, but that's going to come down. All right, we're going back. Bear with me here. We're almost there. So now I'm on the 5 minute. Here they are. All right, so when I get that real estate opening up, that's when you take it down to the lower time frame. You can do 5 minute, 3 minute, 15. I prefer the 5 when I'm like really getting ready to jump in. All right. So now we already know we have the setup on the higher time frame. So here is where I flip it into the lower time frame. Okay. And here you also have that very same setup here. You have the par gap here, and this is the entry trade right here. All right. So let me open up the price a little bit. Okay, so as this is moving up, okay, you always want to refer back to make sure that this is bullish, and the whole ribbon is moving up the entire day and a half here. So that is bullish the entire time. So as long as that's staying bullish and you get these big moves down on the 3, the 9, the 6 down here, you can take it as soon as it turns back up. All right, so that was an entry. that was an entry right here. Yeah, vertical. Okay. Here's another entry. And you see, every time you go in here, it's moving up pretty much immediately. Okay. When I take these scalps, if the price turns around, I'm usually getting out very quickly and usually setting a stop below the swing low of where I'm just getting in. Okay, so these are continuation trades. I can show you another setup that's a little bit more simpler. This is the 3-9. The yellow ribbon is a ribbon between the 3 and the 9 time frame, and then the red is 6120. So I have a general idea of what direction the momentum is heading. Now we also, on Mickey's indicator, we have the money minter. We have money flow on there too, which I'll sometimes refer to as well. So every time it dips down, you really want it to go definitely below the ribbon and preferably down into the oversold, but it's not always going to get there. But if it comes down below the 50, which is right here, the middle line, that's also a good grab as well, right? So these are some other continuation trades. And I'll stop here. So, is there any questions on that so far? I'm just looking in the chat, or Mickey, you can let me know. Okay, nothing yet. All right.
I just want to point out, this was MetaMan a while ago, but yeah, don't get on the FOMO train, guys. Try to block the urge. Try to get the emotions out of trading. You don't want to follow any emotions when you're looking at the stuff.
So that is with just the par. Now I am going to turn on a lot of the pivots. Okay. Let me make sure this is just rid of that. Rid of that. Sometimes those show up. Alright, so I use with the pivot extreme, I have it so that each time I put the indicator, it's only dealing with one time frame. So for this top one, that's the daily, and the pink rectangles is the daily CPR. You're gonna hear me talk about those really often. I'm gonna be talking about the CPR. The middle one is the weekly, and the third one here is the monthly. Okay. The dashed lines are going to be the monthly. So you see how it's the dashed lines 1, 2, 3. This is the top, the middle, and the bottom of the monthly CPR. And the daily CPR, which is very easily visible, the pink rectangle, you have the top, the middle, and the bottom of the daily CPR. And then for the weekly, that is the dotted lines. Right here is the weekly CPR. That's just a little bit darker gray. Okay, but I'm just putting them all up. And what I want to really focus on tonight is when pivots stack, it really creates a much stronger support and resistance. So here, I know it's a lot to take in, and you guys can hit me up anytime, but with these pivots, these I'm getting from the TradingView standard pivot points, because it's only one thing on each right here, the pivot point standard. All right, so this one is the monthly, and then I have the quarterly right here, quarterly, and this is the DeMark pivots. Okay, the ones in Pivot Extreme is the traditional pivots. So here I have the monthly, the quarterly, the yearly and the weekly. I'm just going to put those up. Okay. So, what I want to highlight is when pivots are stacked, it becomes a much stronger support. And so let's say you took any of these trades. Right here is the top of the monthly CPR. There's a VWAP there too. And then you have a monthly DeMarc pivot. So what I'm going to do is just kind of circle all of this area. That is definitely a spot that you would TP pretty aggressively from the trade that you took from the par gap. Okay. And at that point, you can move your stop up and profit, let it ride, do what you want to do. I would be out at least half of my trade there as being a day trader on higher leverage. So what I'm going to do is just kind of scroll through and show you some other pivots that are stacked with, and then we'll look at the par too to see what kind of trade we're going to be taking. All right, so this is Bitcoin.
Okay, so I got a question from Red Dragon now. He thinks he sees that when the pink is going up, your continuation entries are the yellow RSI dips, right?
Yep, that is exactly correct. And if it's a bull div or a hidden bull div, then it's even a stronger reason.
Do you want to draw an out, or are you going to go into that here?
Yeah. Let me see what I can find here. Okay, so this was a hidden bull div right here. And hidden bull divs can be very powerful, especially since we just had, let me go back to the higher time frame. Right, since you just had that big old par gap, right here is just, this is really, really bullish. I mean, you have literally 7 RSIs all converging into the oversold territory. So this right here is like swing-tastic right here. So I'm definitely very bullish from this point. So now I'm going to be looking for any scalp bullish signals. So right here, trend line. Okay, so price, hidden bull div is when you're getting a lower high. And
I think that's just a bull div. The hidden ones, I think, are more flat.
No, look. You have where the indicator made a new low and the price went up. That's a hidden bull div right there.
I think that's a bull div, but yeah, we're arguing semantics.
Well, this was the bull div over here. You see how it made a lower low? No, that's not actually. Well, yeah. So price made a lower low, and the ribbon, it was kind of flat. But this is a regular bull div in my opinion, and then this is the hidden bull div. I'll put it up in the chat later on. Anyway, so that was just a beautiful dip right there, and took that on the next one. And like I said, this is the stacked pivots. So that's definitely, so I'm just moving along here. Alright, and then it broke out here, so this is a breakout. Alright, so we're riding this long, and we're keeping an eye. So here you have the weekly CPR. This is the weekly pivot right here in the middle, but it's just by itself. So it's probably not showing a whole lot of strength. Right, so you're still riding the trade. Okay, so right here where you have 2 CPRs and this one is higher than the last one, that's a bullish 2-day relationship. And it's also a narrow CPR, so that's usually going to tell you that a strong trend is coming. And that is what we got here. right? So, all right. So here we have a monthly pivot. Okay. Those are usually pretty strong in and of themselves, but we also have a weekly pivot right here. So that would be a definite point of interest. Yeah, there we go. So that was a strong point of interest because it's a pivot stack. Right, so those are very important to keep track of. Plus, I bet we have some kind of bearish. There we go. Okay, so look at this. A bearish par gap right here. Okay, so as I was saying, they're usually going to be good for at least a scalp. Um, a lot of times they'll go into a swing, but I think the market was getting really strong already right here. So if you took this trade here or here, you see how now. So we're going to look after the circle for a scalp play. So let's look at this one. All right, so you do have the 1 and 2 turning down, so we're bearish now. You wait for that spike up, and then you take it on the next turn down. Right here was your play for a short, and I think that we're going to get at least a scalp out of it, okay? Because it hit our point of interest, and we have a bearish signal, short signal on the par, okay? And the middle of that candle is 75,631. And you were able to get down to the CPR 75,631 to 74,500. It's a 1,100 point move, and if you don't TP that TP1, I don't know what to say. It's a pretty good move. So you got to scalp out of it, and that's probably it for now. So the top of a CPR when it's wide is usually going to be pretty good support. So keep that in mind. And then we have the stack again. It got rejected off of that. And now we have a bullish 2-day narrow CPR setup. Okay, so you're going to look for a strong trend day either that day or the day after. They just don't want to give it to us. Wow, Bitcoin was that flat this last week? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so really, this is really narrow here, and then it finally decided to trend up. And there you had the big trend. All right, so I don't see any stacked pivots. So that's really what I'm looking for. This blue, by the way, is the quarterly. And it had a little bit of turbulence there, and it was a really strong move up. All right, so what I'm going to do next is look at the alerts with you guys. All right, so here you have a daily and a monthly, all right, and it definitely, that was another good TP spot, and definitely showed reaction there. You're always, when you get these stacked pivots, 90% of the time you're going to get a good reaction, and then it's up to you to see which way it's going to break. Anyway, so that is the basics of using the par and the pivots together. Price is coming up to a stacked pair of pivots, and if you're getting see here, the 1 and 2 was heading up strong. So you wait for a bearish signal, right? So that was above the pivots, right? So maybe if you wait till it comes down below it, and you get the signal here as the low time frame came up and started to come back down again, and that was a nice move after that. Anyway, so that's the gist of it. Let me go into the par alerts with you guys.
We just changed the settings to 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour on the par swing bot alert. So we have yet to have a trigger on that, but you can do one with the 15, 1 hour, and 4, or we can look through them manually.
Sure.
Whatever you want to do.
Well, we got some overbought. Let's look at those. I don't want to look at the ones that just came up. Let's go back a little bit. Today it's 7. Let's go back. That's good. It's about 4 or 5 hours ago. Okay, so overbought. Now we did, yeah, like Mickey said, we changed the parameters so that I think they're going to be better than the 15, 1, and 4 hour. But let's look at Katie, Theta, and XTZ. Let's look at Katie since we were just trading that in the group. Yeah, Bitcoin's really just going through that bull flag, huh? All right, let's here we go, Katie. What time was that alert? Around 4 o'clock, Mickey? Let me double check on that. 4:28. All right, so 4:30. Now this definitely does not mean take the trade. What I would do is I'll look at Katie, and I'm gonna go to my charts, right? And at 4:30, all 15, 1, and 4 hour were all overbought. Okay, so there's a potential short there. So this is 4:30 right here. Wait, hold on. Actually, this alert would have been freaking amazing to take.
Hold on, look at the par. Hold on. I think he may not have changed the name or the time frames on there, but I mean, let me rephrase that. He changed the par parameters, but he didn't change the words. 15 minute. He might have. That's what I'm thinking. What happened? Because look at the par.
And well, then, the one. Let me look at where the 4 hours. Hold on a second. The 4 is the blue. That's overbought. The 1 is definitely overbought, and the 2. And so because the red ribbon is the 1 and the 2.
So yeah, it did trigger correctly. It's just that it's saying that it's only 15, 1 hour, and 4.
Oh, so we need to change the wording.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He said it's live. He said it's live, and that was early this morning at like 7.
So anyway, I mean this was perfect. That's rated 4:30. So you look at it, you go, okay, wow, that 1 and 2 is in Neverland, right? And then you had the see, I have my scalp ribbon at 3 and 9. Other people use 3 and 6, 3 and 5. You know, you can use what you want as long as it's really low time frame. I would stay away from 1 and 2 minutes. It's just way too flippy all around. 3 is as low as I'll go, but when you couple it with the 9, you get a good idea of what the low time frame is doing, in my opinion. So I'm looking at this. As soon as the yellow starts to turn down, that's where you would enter, and I'm on the 5 minute. So yeah, right there. So you would be in, and look where you got in. It was right at a monthly pivot and a daily pivot. Right here, you can see the daily pivot, or the solid line and the dash line. They're right there. It had an SFP above that, and then closed a nice red candle below. And you had on that alert just a 15% move at 10x in like 3-4 hours. Right? 150% you would have made on that. So let's look at the next Theta and XTZ. Let's see here. Theta. All right. Theta at 4:30. And there we go. Similar situation, right? 1, 2, and 4 are overbought, and we got the low time frame signal for the short right there at 1.7667, and that was an SFP over. The yellow is the yearly pivot, right? That is usually going to be the strongest. This is the DeMark yearly pivot. So you had the
Ampu, do you mind muting your mic for me, brother?
you had the signal right there. So let's see what that would have given us on theta. 4.6% move in no time at all. And these aren't even the most perfect as far as like the higher time frame. Let's look at XTZ. And if you guys have any questions on the Power Alert bots, and then if you have, always welcome the suggestions too. Where was the alert on this? 4:30. Okay, so there was the alert on XTZ. When that alert went off, you had the scalp ribbon. It was down below the 0 already. So you're not taking it there, right? You're waiting for the move up right here. And then for me, I'm waiting for the 3 and 9 to both point down. So you see, here, let me make that a little bit opened up. So you see the 9 is the yellow. That's still going up, right? And then right here, as it turns, and it turns with the 3, and it's obvious that the 1 and 2 is coming down. So that was a spot right there that I would short it. And there it is. And that's still coming down. So that currently is down 8% from the signal. And it looks like it's getting rejected off the yearly pivot, and XTZ doesn't look so good right now. That's probably going lower. See how the scalp ribbon came up and back down? 1 and 2 is coming down. That looks like it could come down pretty good.
The XTZ actually gave the spot versus perp divergence or disconnect signal, which is a huge scam pump and dump signal. And so it's definitely being manipulated and will crash eventually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that went up, it was up 55% yesterday, right? XTZ?
I mean, you can measure it right there.
Yeah, it pumped, but this is a different pump than all the other coins that have been pumping lately. When you see a manipulation of the spot price is significantly different than the perpetual future price, that indicates that there is serious manipulation of whales wanting to offload their bags, and they're opening massive shorts. You can also check the funding rate to see if the funding rate goes super negative.
What does XTZ even do?
It's just one of those very old infrastructure coins that is basically, in 2021 or 2022, it was like one of the darling coins of crypto, and it's been dead for a long time.
Yeah, Tezos was big last cycle. I think it was even the cycle before that too, in 17, right? Not quite sure. I definitely know it was big last cycle, in 21, but I'm not sure about 17.
Yeah, and what you get when you have one of those ancient coins like Tezos and XRP and ADA, what you have is tons and tons of bag holders who have tons of these coins, and they've been holding it for like 5+ years or 3+ years, and so they want to get out of it because they know that it's probably dead.
Right.
And so they'll manipulate it for a pump like this, and then they will just absolutely,
just to find their
like,
exit.
they could sell. Yeah, they just want their exit because they probably could dump, 10 or more % of the entire market cap on the market.
Well, that's what I always call these exit pumps. I mean, that's exactly what they're doing. All right, so yeah, Nikki, I think that it is set up. Let's see. All right, so that's still. So you had Theta, XTC, and Katie. They were being alerted for quite a while. So you had.
For me, it was at 7 in the morning, so it's probably like 9 for you and afterwards.
What was?
All the valuable pings on this bot. So anywhere on this bot where it says today at from 9 a.m. going on are probably with the new parameters.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Oh, you think that today 9 your time or my time?
Your time.
Oh, so 9 my time. All right.
So all these ones are probably valid.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Let's look at 1:43 New York time, RSR and Chiles. My baby back. All right, RSR. SDT. What time did I say?
143.
43. Okay.
It's 13:43.
Right there. There's your alert. This thing's pretty hot right now. Alright, so that also had all the lines on the higher time frame squished up. The more safer play would have been this spot right here. But this could also... You had the red ribbon going sideways when the scalp ribbon topped out and turned. So that works. The safer play is over here. And
all right, on Red Dragon, yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, it's a good system, and this is Kermit's specialty, so he's developed it. AstroToad has seen the value in it too, and so have other members.
then let's see what else we had. Chili's. That was RSR, right? Let's look up Chili's.
Is Chili's hot? Do you think this is Chili's like actually part of the Chili's franchise?
No.
Or the business?
No.
They didn't make their own meme coin?
No. Alright, 143. Now this one... Wait a second. Way back here?
When are we going to make Hooters coin?
Right? Okay, so here is the Chili's alert. Let's see if it was given it earlier. Let's see. CHC 113. Alright, here's one at 12:58. I think that's when it started. I don't see it before that. So let's look at 12:58. Alright, that was the first alert on it. Okay. So, you're not going to... you don't want to catch a falling knife or a rising... rising... What's the word? Anyway, so you wait... The par ribbon on the low time frame was still moving up here. So, that's... For me, that's a definite no right here. You want to wait for... turn down, which is right here. Okay, so that is when... Now you could say the 1 and the 2 were still going up. Okay, but the reason that I would be okay front running this is because you have the divergence of the scalp ribbon over the 1 and 2, and it made a divergence gap right here. But let's say you didn't take that and you wanted to wait for the 1 and 2 to start coming down. Here it's starting to come down. Right? So could have got in here, but you got to put everything in the context. I mean, you just fell. What was that percentage fall from the top here? I mean, it just came down 10%, so you got to realize that you're taking a short after it just fell 10%. So you may not expect a whole lot, but let's see where you got something out of that, because your stop would have been over the swing high. So let's see. Let's do a measure on that. Might not be a lot. All right, so you got a 2% move. And then right here, you have a divergence of the low time frame to the 1 and 2, as the 1 and 2 is really flattening out again and even starting to curl back up. So this is where you want to get out. That one, not a huge play. I mean, you might have gotten 1% out of that. If you didn't get out on the dip here and you waited for the long signal on that, that was not the best one. Let's look at one more. And then, alright, let's look at 1213. Let's look at PolyX and then IOTA. Right? Then we'll also see where it might have given a signal earlier in the Parbot. PolyX, and I'm looking at Binance for the most part. And that was at 12, that was at noon. Alright, so that's back here. Okay. Alright, well here's noon. Let's see if it was going off before that. PolyX, 11:58, 11:43, 28. Okay, 11:13. Alright. So 10:43. Oh, it even going all the way. So it was overbought for a while. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, 10:13 was where it started. Let's take a look. That would be right here. You had the 1, 2, and 4 overbought, right? The 1 and 2 is still going up now. The red ribbon is starting to turn down. We're interested, but we want to wait for the scalp to get overbought. And right here, and then you're in on that big red candle. That's your short signal. And let's say you even shorted at the bottom of the candle, you didn't get a good entry. Right here, let's see where we got to. And you got a 7% move. And in my opinion, you go down even 2-3% on higher leverage and you don't trim, that's your fault if it round trips. But that's a nice 7% move, and it was down there for a while. You had like a few hours to get out of that trade before it went back up again. And then here was a long signal anyway, right here at the bottom of the CPR. So that one
you do have a couple hidden divergences in the middle of that flat there that would tell you, hey, maybe get out or at least move your stop loss up.
Here, you want to
like those two yellow stabs down are giving you a hidden divergence.
That's a bullish hidden divergence, no?
Correct, which would mean, hey, if you're in a short, maybe time to not be.
Oh yeah.
Move your stop loss to profit. So.
That's right. Here, let me point it out here. The vertical. Let's go with the trend. Good eye. Thanks. I always appreciate the assist. All right, so here, boom. It was a hidden bullish divergence, and it held the monthly line. Now it did do a little manipulation move here, but you're right. So the middle here to the middle here. That's a hidden bullish divergence for sure. And okay, so yeah, like I said, if you took this trade, your TP should have been here in this area where you have a monthly pivot and the weekly pretty much stacked, and not stacked so much per se, but there's a good TP right here. And then all of this is just a lot of manipulation before it zoomed up. So at this point, it's 1 and 2 is going up. You're just playing scalps, because on the higher time frame, it's not like there's no swing plays here, but it's definitely all coming back up again. All right, I'll do one more, and then I'll leave a few minutes for some questions. Let's see, that was 10. All right, so what I want to look for is when, all right, ZRX, I think that was the first time it came up. No, here at 10:13, 9:58, 8:13 a.m. was where I think ZRX first came up, and then it was there for a few hours. So let's take a look at ZRX. Yeah, this alert bot has gotten a lot better. Alright. Wow, it was already overbought here. So, now okay, this is a good one to show, because it went completely opposite. But let's take a look. You had your first alert right around here, okay? Now let's say you took that, and that's a legitimate scalp play. There's definitely, this is not very clear on the higher time frame. Let me look at that. There it is. Escaping. Okay, so, all right. And wait, was that overbought? That's overbought. Okay, so this is not really. This is all still moving up. Okay, but let's say it's hard to read, and you take the scalp anyway. All right, you're not really. Okay, right here. Let me put a mark on. All right, so it bumped against the monthly pivot, and let's say you take the short right here, and let's see how much we get before that really turns up on us. Let me get the measure tool. Okay, so you got 2% on that, but right here you have a divergence gap with the scalp turning back up again, back over the zero line. That's where you would have wanted to get out. If you did not trim at all, you would have broke even, or let's just say you put the stop over the swing, you would have probably lost 1.5% on that trade. Now, the 1 and 2 went back up, and now it's really getting up there, really flat here, and you got a beautiful. So let's say you didn't do much on that trade as far as gains, or let's say you even lost 1.5. Here's your chance to redeem yourself. So you got right here, and let me put a trend line. Okay, so this is a massive bear div, and it got rejected by the monthly pivot up here with a bearish engulfing, and from here to here. Okay, so red ribbon flat, that's completely flat, and it's also in way overbought territory. Okay, so your short signal was right here at the close of the 5-minute, and also on the bearish engulf. So let's see what we got out of that. Okay, so you could TP at this monthly pivot, but it just knifed right through that. So I don't know. I mean, if you're waiting for closes, you're not getting out there. If you got out at the VWAP, that's about a 10% move. And then if you TP'd at the yearly pivot, that's a 13% move. So now you're deep in the green on ZRX. And that was in the alerts. And these aren't even the cleanest, but it worked. All right, so all right, I'm gonna go back to the chat here. All right, let me look through the questions. You guys have any questions at all? I will kind of wait in the chat. Hapu, it's good to see you, buddy. So yeah, when you use the momentum par with pivots, it's really powerful. The lower rainbow one is on higher time frames. Yes, it is. And let me show you. There's the standard setup too. If you go you go over here on the left, and you go to the par channel. Right here, it's the price action reader. If you go in there, and you go to the pin, so this is kind of the rainbow ribbons that I'm using now. But if you scroll back, all right, so here's some other, this is a lower time frame, 1530, 120, 240, 440, 520, and then this will be a higher time frame, right? All right, so that's all in the pinned. And then here is the absolute standard right here. No, that's a scalp. All right, so here is the main par. This is like the main go-to. And when you do this, you're gonna end up having 3 or 4 ribbons. And 15, 30, 60 is all one ribbon. 200, 280 is like your middle time frame, and you're gonna hear me refer to that as MTF. And HTF is gonna be like your 600, 720 up into 1440. Right? The green is kind of in between the middle and the high time frame. Kind of deal without that and just stick with like the yellow, the blue, and the red ribbon. And then you look at if they're all coming to one side, that's more likely going to be a swing. Back in the chat here. Toji, how you doing? I guess anything now with low level is good. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the way I've been thinking lately about the market. Is just wait for dips, low lev buy, go for it. You know, until I mean, you might as well just ride this thing till the wheels fall off, right? Gala, XI, FTM, yeah. Any memes? I mean, there's a ton of them. We've been looking at Brett, Bone, Bohm, Dogs. Yeah. Pepe has not really been on my radar. Yeah, there's so many out there. Well, you can go on Rollbit and it's 1000x. Like, if it goes like 0.01% against you. Yeah, not follows ton. Alright, so I'm pretty done. It's 5 to 10. So yeah, just open it up for a few minutes for questions. BRVP.
Yeah, let's go ahead and end the live stream here. I'm on the phone with my ISP, so we'll just go to members only. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Go to cartoonmoneyprinters.com if you want to try for the 30-day month free access. You'll get access to our suite of indicators as well as the par alert bot, which is now going to signal for the 1, 2, and 4 hour, as well as some other things. Thank you very much. We'll